Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So I guess Chili's is close.
Yeah, it's closest because
Yeah. Right.
I might go up with some friends to the airport and bring some candidates and
Oh, nice.
do some more things. Oh,
exactly.
It's just really whatever I'm feeling is mainly like abstract meaning, or if I have like a specific idea, then I'll try it in. I'm not with that, but I like those ideas.
Good, that's great.
If there's anything that
Always gonna check you.
My definition of art is so if you paint and it makes you feel good,
Yeah.
then you look pretty.
But I'm also working on a movie site next weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I work with a lot of people. So I'll be a makeup assistant, and I'm crafty. So I'll make more room. But I'll also be making appearance in it. So that's cool.
Where is the film?
And then at somebody's apartment, just wherever we can find it.
Well, when you need 1974, if there's a scene where you go back in time, come to the Sylva Arrow.
That's good to know, actually.
I say something bad about
Doing this weekend. Cleaning. And
I should say Jay.
Are y'all roommates?
No.
Yeah.
No, nice.
Yes, so wait.
You want another minute?
No, I'm ready. Okay. You can keep going. You want me to? No, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting of the Town of Sylva Board of Commissioners to order. The first thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. So I would like a motion for us to do so.
I'll make that motion.
All right, we have a motion. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Next is the approval of the consent agenda, which is also in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve it? We have a motion, any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, next is our public comment, and I don't see anyone for public comment unless y'all have something you wish to say. Thank you, then we'll move on to our reports. For the mayor's report, I would just like to remind everyone that on March 21st, and you should have gotten an invitation from Senator Corbin's office or somewhere for a broadband meeting in Franklin at one of the fellowship halls over there from a church. They've got the director of broadband infrastructure there and the deputy secretary for broadband and digital equity. So there's going to be lots of big people there from economic development and different things. And you can either call a number or I can send you this information if you did not get it, but it's from 1 to 3 on March 21st. So it would be something good to go to. And also, I think Paige asked you about going to the League of Municipalities annual meeting, which is called City Vision. That's in April. If you're interested in that, we do have training money for that. And I hope some of you will get to come. Those are the only things I have. Thank you. Started this in this time. Natalie.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you.
Same.
Okay. Ben.
Good evening. I just wanted to just kind of check in clearly where COVID seems to be on the wane here because we're all out of masks and everything. Just wanted to remind everybody that it's probably not over. Hopefully it is, and it's probably a good idea to be ready for the next time, having some home kits, and for sure, everybody getting, they're all 3 shots of the vaccine series, unless you're a kid, make sure your kid's getting 2 for 5 and up. The big thing I want to talk about was last week I had the pleasure to spend a half a day with Sylva Public Works with Jake. And we were able to go out, basically see the entire town, every road, what's a city road or town road, and what's a state road. I got to see one of the biggest jobs that they do is picking up garbage twice a week. I was pretty impressed that on the Wednesday I went, they picked up 10 tons of solid waste that went into the landfill, unfortunately. But 3 guys on the truck, 1 driving and 2 helping, are picking up all that garbage, and they're doing it twice a week. I was just really impressed by how well they worked together, and how hard they worked. And, Jake is right out there with them. I know that if they need help, he's there for them. I got to see what was going on downstairs here, how the town of Sylva takes care of its own police cars and equipment kind of as much as they can in the house. I was really impressed with how Jake is running his department. And I just, we give a shout out to Sylva Police all the time. And I don't think we do, which is great, but I think we also need to give a shout out to Sylva Public Works. They do an incredible job, and just want to say thanks for the opportunity to go around and see it. And I encourage everybody to do a ride along. That's it for me.
Thank you, Ben.
And thank you, Jake, and your crew. We really would be a mess without you. David.
The only thing I have is Paige and Linda and I will be meeting with the county for our next housing discussion, March 22nd. That is all I have to report.
Thank you, David.
I have no report tonight.
No report. All right. Then we will move on to the manager's report.
A few things. The good news is that the technical correction for the Bryson Park project was approved by the Senate last night and the House this morning. So it goes to the governor to sign now. That's most exciting. Budget update, departmental budget worksheets were due last Friday. We're working to review those and to build them into the budget. Our next budget work session is after our 9 o'clock meeting, the 24th. So this Friday, tomorrow, the TDA is dedicating Pinnacle Park as a certified forest therapy trail. And Nick Breedlove, the TDA director, would like to have representation from the board if anyone is available to attend. So please let me know and I'll notify them. Becky Veazey from the MAPS group was here at the beginning of last week, working on our salary study, conducting employee interviews for the study and for the pay and classification plan update. These will be presented to the board at an late April or early May budget work session. We've extended the Greening Up the Mountains vendor deadline to March the 31st. And we're hopeful that we'll receive more applications in the next few weeks since COVID is improving. Today, Fire Chief Mike Beck and I presented to the county commissioners requesting that the county cover the personnel cost for the fire department. And the commissioners are reviewing that request and they anticipate more meetings in April. I think that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Any questions of Paige?
Just have asked, is anybody gonna go to the forest thing?
I have a meeting that I don't know, I may be through by 1.
And that's at Pinnacle,
Yes,
Just
I
in the
plan to
parking lot?
attend.
you're gonna go?
Yes. Public Works installed a sign near the other ones with a description of what the certified forest therapy trail is and brochures on it.
I can try.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's the end of our reports. So we will move on to our new business. The first is to adopt a revised retention schedule. And Paige, if you can explain that.
Yes, this is a requirement from the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. the last time the state updates the schedule and then they want local governments to pass a resolution adopting it. So the last time we did this was 2013, and it's just a guideline of how long we're supposed to keep certain records and files.
Okay, thank you. So is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Make the motion, we adopt this resolution.
All right, any further discussion?
I'm glad you had to read that, not me. I skimmed it. That is not a fun document, and it's really long.
Amanda gets the most credit for reading it.
Any other comments or discussion? Then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. That's passed. The next item is to review the Allen Street cost estimates.
Okay, so you have new cost estimates on Allen Street that break apart the south slide Allen Street repair from the north slide Bryson Park repair. So the total cost of the two repairs is $2,355,430. And then after we, in our last budget work session, discussed other items that we wanted to include, knowing we had hopefully this $3 million coming, Jake and I reached out to the engineers and talked about having them look at the retaining wall, the prefab wall that's in the park, that's below the slope failure, I think that was in 2004. And they've given a price estimate for the wall and borings to test it. And then also if the borings show that it needs a deep-seated slope repair. So that's one alternative. And then the other one is to expand the parking area at Bryson Park. And that would require a topo survey. And then the other options include two separate sidewalk sections. One that goes from the beginning of the driveway entrance to the pedestrian access near Harold Street. And then the other one that goes from that point to the other end of the park past the basketball goals. And that would also need a topo survey. So I wanted you to see these cost estimates and then get an idea of what you wanted to do as far as the alternates. Because if you want to move forward with the alternates, we need to have the topo survey and the borings done so that we don't have a delay when we get to the design piece.
I have a question on the sidewalks. Which side of the road is that going to be planned?
It'd be on the Bryson Park side.
So is that going to work if are we building a sidewalk to nowhere? Because like if you continue it down Chipper Curve towards the fire department, I feel like it needs to be on the other side of the road because there's a really steep bank on that side. Because I hope someday this is going to connect along that whole length.
Right.
Can we investigate it on the other side maybe?
So we have it on our side on the pedestrian plan. I'm not sure about the Jackson Paper side.
On the pedestrian plan going all the way down to the fire department on that side?
Yes.
It does flatten out a little bit around the curve part of it. It definitely, there's a little bit of shoulder or whatever.
Okay, all right. Well, if that's.
The hope would be to have some continuity as the pedestrian plan progresses through Chipper Curve.
Yeah. Okay, all right, if that's feasible to do it on that side. Another small one was a new fence. I assume that that's part of it, but it's
Yes,
just kind of too small to.
We've got that budgeted in other park improvements.
Okay.
Do we have any visuals of what you're talking about? Like diagram or?
Jake
This
did a
versus
diagram
this.
of where the borings would go.
Well, I'm confused about where the parking lot's gonna go. Like, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
spell it out a little bit. Let's get a diagram up here. just use the cursor. Use this one. This one. All right, Greg. So this is a little bit small. So all the red X's are where we've already done borings.
Yeah.
So the blue X's will be where we'll need to do additional borings. 5 is an estimate. More likely, it'll be between 3 and 5. It won't be to the extent. And all we're doing, you see this white line right here? That's the existing prefabricated concrete wall that's above the playground currently.
Okay.
And that was identified as another failure point in the future. So with this infusion of money, we're wanting to investigate the idea. And the borings may very well show that this doesn't need any kind of preemptive repair. We're trying to, if it does show that, this is very likely the next place Allen Street would fail. We've established this is a high risk slope. So if you come down here, this is the entrance road right here. You can kind of, there's some shadowing and some trees. This bank would get cut away right here. The driveway widened and there would be diagonal parking along that line. Does that make sense?
But not between the pavilion and the bank, not in the back of the pavilion, but just over on the side where the bathrooms are.
Before the bathroom.
Before the bathroom. So here's the bathrooms and the pavilion, men's, women's, right here. So this would be left largely undisturbed. Right here. What we're talking about is as you're driving down Chipper Curve, you turn, make a left-hand turn and come up this little entrance road into the park.
Right.
Right here. This would get widened out. Section of the bank cut away, retaining wall installed, whatever slope stabilization practices are needed, and an additional 20-ish, 25 spots.
Is that where there's grass right now?
Some of it's grass, most of it is just cut bank.
That's where the, those Jersey barrier things are right now.
Above
Above
that,
it.
directly
Yeah,
above
but I mean,
that.
directly above.
Mhm.
Is any of the property on the other side of the road belong to the town?
No.
No.
Everything adjacent across the road is Jackson paper or private.
So you want to know if we want to go ahead and do the borings and analysis for that upper slope, and doing that still puts us right at the 3 million mark. And then we can make the decision based on those borings, whether or not to add that slope failure and preemptive repair to the scope of work. Is that right?
Well, so the total, no, so you want to go into the.
So the borings, and we want to know if you all want to do the borings and the topo to see if you're interested in those alternates.
That's the $20,000 item.
The 20,000, and then there's a $7,000 item for the topo survey on this capital project ordinance.
And the alternate is to get the additional parking.
That's one of the alternates, yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Are you all interested in exploring the retaining wall, the parking lot, and the sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're thinking is, if worst case scenario, if we do all 3 of those and this comes in at the cost estimate and we find out we need the deep seated repair, the estimated cost for all of it would be, and this builds in everything we've talked about. Improving the bathrooms, really nice, the best possible playground equipment we can get, repaving the basketball court, upgraded lighting, everything upgraded at the park would be $3,197,408. If we don't need the deep-seated retaining wall, that cost would be $2,602,408. And keep in mind, this is all cost estimates before this goes, the cost estimates that we've come up with for equipment and repairs of the facility, but then also the cost estimates the engineers have done. I mean, this capital project ordinance for Allen Street will change again as we get to the contract point. But I'm trying to find out, are you all interested in pursuing those alternates?
Yes.
So another. How much more to do these borings? 100,000.
20,000.
There's the boring. There's the.
These borings are
Yeah.
purely exploratory. Just to know if we need to spend another 500 some thousand on an additional stabilization
In the future,
in the future.
not as part of this project.
Well,
No,
we're
as part of
looking
this
at it As part of this project,
Right.
because we've got money as part of this project.
So the north slide repair, the 3 million that we just recently got approved, that 3 million has to be only spent on that. It can include the south slide repair. The south slide, what you use the 750 for?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus what we put.
Plus what we put in there,
aside.
right? So then we're still gonna come up, even with all the additional stuff, still gonna come up under 3 million significantly on the north slide,
3.1.
north side.
It's 3.1.
Right, but that includes south failure as well, right? Like I'm looking at this, their CDC estimate sheet. And they're saying 1.4 south slide. 0.916 million north slide. And then you have all the additional alternate items, grand total, not including the deep seated slope repair, at 3 million.
Right, but now remember, this top section can't be used of the 3 million.
Can't be used to food, so it's, right, so we're gonna come up with significantly high leftover funds in that 3 million.
So
Still,
if
right?
you look at so Jake and I have been working on estimates for playground equipment, bathrooms, and.
Oh, right, because that's not on, this is just, okay, now I'm good.
Okay.
And that is on the updated capital ordinance sheet.
The updated capital ordinance is just Allen Street. We'll do an ordinance for Bryson Park once we receive the 3 million.
Okay, so if we adopt this, we move forward with.
Allen Street design and the additional topo and borings.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt the amended Allen Street landslide capital project ordinance. Oops, my mic wasn't. Assuming these things pick that up. You want me to-
It should have.
So we have a motion. Is there further discussion? Is everybody pretty clear on what we're talking about?
Thank you.
Okay. Then all those in favor of amending the Allen Street landslide capital project ordinance signify by saying aye. Motion is approved. Next, that was number 3, I guess, also. Next is 4, cancel April 22nd planning board meeting. And I believe we have to do that because we're going to move one of our meetings.
I'll make the motion, we cancel the April 21st.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. So next is to reschedule the January 28th regular board meeting to May 5th at 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. on April 28th. No,
We need to move April 14th to April 21st.
oh, I'm sorry, I wrote the wrong thing. Yes. We need to schedule our meeting to move into place the planning board meeting on item 5. reschedule April 14th meeting to April 21st.
I will make a motion to reschedule the April 14th regular board meeting to April 21st at 5:30 PM.
Any discussion?
I will not be at that meeting. I have to work. I will be on the 21st. So let's make sure I've got enough people there.
It's a night meeting, so when you work.
Yeah, 7 to 7.
5:30. Okay. Could be 3 by 7.
That's a day shift, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
If there's no further discussion, do I have a motion? Sorry. Okay, thank you, David. I'm confused. All those in favor of moving the April 14th meeting to April 21st, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is to reschedule the April 28th meeting, regular board meeting, to May 5th at 9 a.m.
I'll make that motion.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And then we also have a work session that day. So that's what item number 7 is to reschedule the April 28th budget work session to May 5th, following our regular board meeting. I have a motion. All right. Any discussion?
I'm not, well, it's, I don't know. I'll have to see what I can do. I might not be able to make that one either. I know. But anyway, that's the discussion.
So does that mean you can't make the 21st, May 5th regular and May 5th board meeting?
Well, I will be working all night the 4th, and that'll be my second night in a row, so I'll be pretty zoned out, being up all night, coming in at 9, so.
So another time we can do that May 5th meeting?
Huh?
Asking if there's another. time.
Oh,
Would it help you to do it later? Like,
yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, switch it over to on the 5th to like an evening rate. Can we do a night meeting? Do it 5:30 or 5 or something?
It's a work session too, though.
Oh, yeah,
so
it's a
needs
work
to be,
session
like,
too, yeah.
3 or.
Yeah, I guess 3.
I mean, the meeting, the 21st and the 5th are so close together that we could do the work session the 5th and both meetings on the 21st. We just talked about not canceling meetings if we could help it right now because there's so much up in the air with the contracts for these projects. Like if they need to go to the board for approval.
Yeah, I don't suggest we cancel it. I just say that's.
We could do the draft budget work session at like 3 o'clock on the 5th.
Okay,
Would that help?
yeah,
And then the board meeting at 5:30.
Yes, if we need to. I'm saying we would have just met the week before though, so there might not be a lot of business for that meeting.
So we just keep the May 5th board meeting at 9 o'clock that we just motioned and then have the board meeting at 3.
It's a work session for us.
Or I mean, the work session for us at 3.
I think 3 o'clock work session and 5:30. We can tentatively have a meeting scheduled, but there's a good chance we won't need it. If we do, it would be something short to approve it.
Or we could just leave it on the 28th if nobody else wants to go to the league meeting.
Do it on the 5th at 3 if that works for everybody.
okay.
So David, will you amend your motion to say 3 PM?
For the work session.
Work session. So item number 7.
Seven.
So I will amend my motion to be May 5th, 3 PM for the work session.
Do I need to amend number 6 then? Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to reschedule the meeting to May 5th at 3 PM, the work session. Is there any discussion? Then all those in favor signify by saying aye. Are we, and then I think what Mary was asking, do we need to revisit number 6 and change the board meeting from 9 AM or leave it there? What's the?
So I think we want to
will
move
of the
that.
board?
5:30, so just, you can just make a motion to move it to 5:30. Motion that we move 28 to May 5th at 5:30 time.
Any discussion on that? That work for everyone?
Do you work that night then?
No, I'm just posting.
Then if there's no further discussion, all those in favor, of the motion signify by saying aye. Amanda, did you get all of those? And that's the end of our new business. We now have a closed session. I have a motion to go into that.
Pursuant to GS 143-318-11A 3 and 6, I make a motion that we go into closed session.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And thank y'all for being here. Back to you.